It was dark when I woke up in a small guest house in Korea some years ago. My bed was a thick cotton mat on the floor. The heat rose from underneath the floorboards, making it very cozy. It was hard to shake off my tiredness, to kick off the covers and pull myself out of bed, but this morning held a promise. So I yanked myself from my dream state and rose into the darkness. I grabbed the rice ball that the cook had left for me on the counter, and I stuffed it into my pocket for later. Then I walked out onto the streets where I could see the silhouettes of others ambling through the shadows towards a grassy peak at the edge of the village. Quietly, the people assembled along the ridge overlooking the ocean. There was a sacredness that called us all to silence. It was a special place on Jeju Island in the south of Korea where people come to watch the sun rise out of the ocean. There is something about that place that makes it seem as if the horizon is just a few hundred yards in front of you. And slowly, like the birth of a baby, the orange sun crowns the ocean's horizon. It emerges like an enormous egg of fire being born from the underworld. It is a moment so magical that it burns itself into my memory, along with feelings of awe and amazement. What would it be like, I wonder, if to begin each day being captivated by such beauty? There's a poem by the Sufi master Hafiz that says, "All day long the earth shouts, 'Gee, thanks!' Such an exuberant G. It starts throwing things, as if God were passing by in a parade, encouraging rowdy behavior by looking so beautiful, that a whole avalanche of mania swoops in." I like this idea, Hafiz continues, of throwing things at God, and especially God making us rowdy. Thus, as soon as I am out of bed, I start stuffing large sacks with old shoes, cucumbers, and prayers for the upcoming consecrated free-for-all, and who knows what else. I love Hafiz's idea of looking at each day as if God were passing by in a parade, encouraging rowdy behavior by looking so beautiful, and therefore beginning his day by preparing to be amazed and surprised. What a glorious world we live in. Beauty is all around us, and yet, aren't we just like the cook at that guest house on the Korean island? The one who has learned to sleep in the morning while others go to witness the miraculous birth of a new day? You and I would probably do the same thing if we lived there. After having seen it many times, we would no longer be so enthralled by its brilliance. Even something so dramatic and astonishing would likely become routine. We too would eventually take it for granted. Because isn't that often the way it is with our lovers after a while? With our homes, our jobs, with our health? Why is it that we always start to take our blessings for granted? Count your blessings, we're told by our elders from a very young age, but we rarely do, most of us. Yet most of us are pretty good at keeping lists of all the wrongs the betrayals, and the things that are lacking and missing in our lives. But it seems less instinctual to appreciate our blessings. Gratitude is like a muscle that needs to be exercised. Use it or lose it. And do you know the mistake that most people make about gratitude? They often think that gratitude comes from happiness. But the truth is that happiness comes from gratitude. Let me say that again. Being grateful is not the result of being happy, but being happy is the result of being grateful. People who are grateful are happy. Just look around. Of all the messages that I shout from this little treetop, today's is the one that's probably could most profoundly and simply enhance your life. Do you know the number one answer that parents give when they're asked what they hope for their children when they grow up? They want them to be happy. Then we must teach our children gratitude. Because one of the essential ingredients in the recipe for happiness is gratitude. You can't make orange juice without oranges. You can't make French fries without potatoes. Apparently you can't make marshmallows without horse hooves. Have you heard that? A vegetarian told me that recently. She wouldn't eat them. She wouldn't have anything to do with them. Now, I'm not sure how that works with the horse hooves into a sweet little marshmallow, but that's what they tell me. I'm not sure if it's true, but what is true is that you cannot be happy without being grateful. And gratitude is not only a spiritual virtue, it's a spiritual practice in a way. Similar to meditation or yoga or Tai Chi or any spiritual practice, practicing gratitude involves discipline and commitment and awareness. And just like other spiritual practices, the practitioner is rewarded with many blessings. The remunerations of gratitude include humility, connection, appreciation, and joy. My colleague, Galen Gingrich at All Souls in New York City, reminds us that Judaism is a religion of obedience. In Judaism, God says, "Obey my commandments, and you and your offspring shall be blessed." Christianity is a religion of love. Jesus said, "Love God with all of your heart and all of your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus even instructed us to love our enemies. Islam is a religion of submission. Submit to the will of Allah and the words of the Quran. But ours is a religion that is permeated with gratitude and love. We begin each service on Sunday, and the first words always spoken are, "This is indeed a day which God has made." What is important about this is not so much what it says about God, but what it says about us. The point is that we did not make this day, and we could not make this day even if we tried. This day, just like every other day, with its sunrise and wind and stars in our consciousness, emerges from an incredible mystery that is beyond our full understanding. And this is something that we know that we did not and could not create. So this day, every day, is a gift. And the fact that we woke up to see it is a blessing. And the appropriate way to accept a gift is with gratitude.